Flooded City. Get ready. Second mission. Airport. Get ready. Third mission. Waterfront. Get ready. Fourth mission. Green Hills. Get ready. Fifth mission. Ruins. Get ready. This version is not a simulatory system. All registered user data will be transferred to the deployed virtual system memory bank. First area. Space Dog. Get ready. Second area. Moon base. Get ready. Bulgaria.
Let's rap.
Get ready. Bulgaria.
Nirvana.
Get ready. Mission complete. Virtual operation system interruption. Player data free.
Presented by Sega.